Sagittarius, today, as the invisible winds of fate begin to shift, three sacred symbols rise before you. Justice, the Tower, and Six of Cups, divine signatures that leave no room for denial. There's no more space for postponement, no more gray areas to hide. A karmic recalibration is underway, not to punish, but to restore balance. To weigh all that has tilted your life, the silent losses you never named, the misalignments you tolerated out of trust, and the sacrifices no one ever saw. Now the mask will fall. A lie that once obscured your path will disintegrate. In a return unexpected, trembling will bring words that were never said, words that could forever alter the way you see everything. This truth may not come softly. A revelation is about to sever an old tie. A phone call, possibly today, may arrive like a final bell, a plea for forgiveness. A chance to repeat a cycle, or to break it once and for all. Everything will hinge on one moment, when your heart stands at the crossroads of compassion, memory, and self-respect. There will be last-minute promises, desperate eyes, and an old feeling you thought had long gone silent rising once again. But right there in that same instant, a door will open, clear, peaceful. A new path if you are steady enough to choose it. And if you ignore this moment, this knock from within your own soul, you might miss the turning point the universe has been arranging for you all along. So before we go deeper, if your chest stirs as you read this, if your heart quietly whispers, "This is for me," then write in the comments this sacred commitment. Speech balloon, I release what is not mine to carry, and I let divine justice lead me home to my truth. Because just by writing it, you end the old cycle. And you open a gate where light may now walk beside you. Not as a leader, but as a quiet companion in every step, so come closer. Sit with me like we once did, at the old table where the cards lie still, listening to your breath, where every emotion inside you is honored, not judged, where you are allowed to pause. And when you're ready, I'll tell you something I've learned. From a life long lived, a heart deep felt. I've come to know this. Your Sagittarius heart is not just the one that fires the arrow of truth. It is also the resting porch where weary souls come to remember themselves. Now, as I lay down your cards, justice is the first to speak. Like a sacred knock on the altar of your soul, not loud, but unmistakably firm. Justice for you is not merely the splitting of right and wrong. It is the reclamation of self-worth. It tells me you've spent far too long living by other people's expectations. Too many times you've held in your truth to keep the peace. Too many times you've denied your own intuition just to hold on to a connection. But you know what, love? Your kindness has been misunderstood, and your silence has stopped protecting your heart. Justice comes now not to urge forgiveness, but to help you draw the sacred boundaries of your soul, a clear separation between love and burden, between compassion and abandoning yourself. And then the tower rises, not to frighten you, but to remind you no one can live forever inside a tower built from pretending. A truth is about to surface. A structure that once looked solid, love, family, a promise. A title has been rotting from the inside out. And the collapse is not punishment. It is release. It is the universe's final act of courage on your behalf when you no longer have the strength to free yourself. That shock is the doorway. And then the Six of Cups walks in like a wandering soul, carrying familiar eyes, glittering fragments of memory, both sweet and haunting. Someone who once touched something very real in you, but they chose the wrong path. They didn't betray you with a knife, they betrayed you with silence, by leaving without taking the truth with them. And now they return, not to continue, but to speak a final word, a confession, an apology, a closure, or maybe a gesture that could stir your heart again, just to see if you're still someone who can be pulled back. You may hear them calling. A familiar scent might rush in. A certain look still known, still sad. But you are not the same. You don't live in nostalgia anymore. You don't go gathering shattered pieces just because they once formed something beautiful. You are Sagittarius. You are the seeker of light, not the one who repeats the circle. And today is the moment that shapes the rest of your soul's journey. If you're ready, write this one line below. I don't look back out of regret. I bless myself for having the courage to walk away. The universe is watching you, not to judge, but to witness it. The old Sagittarius ending and the new one rising with light in your eyes, and a truth that was never lost. We will meet again under a wider sky, where you don't need permission to live honestly, where you don't need anyone's approval to know you are worthy, and where you don't have to love someone to the point of abandoning yourself. Just to call it love, you are already enough. And if you're still here, it means you have chosen the light. I'll meet you on the next path, where truth won't wound you anymore. It will become your wings. There is a strange energy moving toward you these days, Sagittarius. It isn't loud or forceful, but tired, quiet, like a soul that's been lost too long and is now trembling its way to your door. Something in someone's eyes is fading, as if they're too exhausted to keep pretending. It feels like they're sitting in front of a mirror, finally daring to look at themselves, realizing they can't go on faking it. You may receive a call or a message with no clarity. A once familiar voice now cracked like wind through dry woods. Maybe they won't speak your name out loud, but their energy will call you through remorse. They may apologize, not with words, but in the silence between their breaths. They may want your forgiveness. They may not want to return. They may only want to close the door before it's too late, and you may ask yourself, is that chapter really closed? The answer is yes, because you have gone far. You kept walking bravely while the past tried to pull you back with its softest memories. But I also know there are corners in you that have never been fully seen. Tender places you tried to cover with laughter, with generosity, with the sparkle people expect from a Sagittarius. And now is the time to sit down, without judgment, just to feel. Because forgiveness, my love, is not about explaining or excusing anything. Forgiveness is the journey of releasing yourself from a harbor that is no longer your home. It is untying the rope around your soul and saying to the past, thank you for teaching me, but I don't need that lesson anymore. Forgiveness isn't a promise, it is a kind of exhale, and as the cards kept speaking, there was something I couldn't ignore. The energy around you lately has been thick, heavy. Something has been pressing down on your light. I saw fake smiles hiding sharp eyes, sweet words rooted in envy. Some of the closest people to you, the ones who should have lifted you up, never really wanted you to soar beyond them. They compare, they subtract, they secretly hope you stumble so they can feel better about their own stagnation. I saw the image of a woman, not someone with real power, but someone who manipulates from the shadows. She whispers seeds of doubt drop by drop, poisoning others without ever lifting a hand. She knows how to twist the pride of those around you, so that they hurt you, never realizing they've been used as pawns. She is not stronger than you, but she knows how to blur the light of others using her shadows. And I'm not telling you this to scare you. No, I'm telling you because those who carry the light always attract the things that want to extinguish it. But you are not fragile. You are not as soft as they assume. Your light does not come from their approval. It comes from the truth within you, and that truth cannot be stolen. And if, in recent nights, your sleep has felt shallow, your dreams strange, old memories flashing by like echoes, that's a signal. A layer is being shed. A pattern is leaving your nervous system. Take a deep breath, place your hand on your chest, and gently remind yourself, I am stronger than this feeling. I am no longer the one who waits to be chosen. Because that woman, she has no weapons, and you have an entire spiritual lineage behind you. Ancestors, soul companions, the ones who walked before you. They are clearing a path through the forest so you can keep walking. When the road ahead feels too dark, they are the ones lighting the torches. When every door is closed, they're the ones knocking with sacred rhythm, and I can also hear it. The sound of a sword, a sacred sword, cutting away the old cords, clearing the energetic clutter around your field. That sound is protection. It's confirmation. You are not walking alone. And as I speak to you like a grandfather, I also feel the presence of a grandmother, a loving, powerful feminine soul, wrapping you in amber light. She doesn't speak much, but she's always there, especially in the moments when you tremble from pain no one else sees. She lays a hand on your shoulder and whispers, you were not born to serve someone else's version of love. You were born to care for yourself. And when you learn to do that, you will become a sanctuary for the entire world. And then justice returns, soft but unyielding. She asked me to tell you, it's time to reorganize your priorities. It's time to name every spiritual object in your emotional baggage. It's time to decide what still has the right to cross the threshold of your soul and what must stay behind. You may tremble, you may feel grief, but this time you will not say yes where you used to say no. You will choose yourself. You will rise, not out of rage, but out of knowing. No one else can walk this path for you. Only you. And if you're still listening, it means you're ready, not ready for battle, but ready to come home, to yourself, to truth, to a kind of love that doesn't require you to fight just to hold on. We will meet again, on the path where truth no longer hurts you, but becomes the wind beneath your sails. There's been a quiet discomfort lingering in your body these days. Not loud, not dramatic, but like a soft echo no one else can hear. And yet, your whole being feels it. It's not a warning of something wrong. It's a sacred sign that for the first time in a very long while, you are choosing yourself, not to fight anyone, but to remain loyal to what you know is right, for your heart, for your rhythm, for your sleep at night to feel finally at peace. Sagittarius, you don't have to run anymore. You just need to pause, breathe, and keep your gaze fixed on what makes you feel most safe. You're not a warrior who must always be in battle. Sometimes courage is not reacting. It's allowing yourself to feel tired, to feel sad, and still rise again, because deep down, you already know you've survived worse before, and you will rise again. When the tower appears, it's not to destroy you. It comes to remind you every collapse brings dust, brings noise, and then a silence so deep, you finally hear your heart, without everyone else's opinions layered on top. No more guilt, no more false obligations, just you and the truth. Don't be afraid to cry if you need to. Don't hold back your laughter afterward. Don't apologize for disappearing for a few days, just so your steps aren't pulled by someone else's expectations. What's real will remain, and the things built on masks and manipulation will fall away, like the last layer of ash after a sacred fire. The Six of Cups, it still flickers in someone's eyes when they think of you, like a slow-motion film, sweet memories, tender ones. But now just remnants of a shoreline, never truly touched. Moments that once made your heart ache. They'll return soon through a phone call, a familiar voice that awakens it all again. It might be the last time you ever hear that voice, the one that marked such a long chapter of your youth. But now you owe no response, not unless your heart chooses it. The universe doesn't bring this person back so you can suffer again. It returns them so you can finally see. You're no longer who you used to be. You've learned enough to release without guilt. This meeting will happen in the realm of unfulfilled promises, memories suspended between two timelines. It's the place where your heart has been exhausted for trying too long to hold everything together. But today, a door opens, a healing door, and if you choose to walk through it, you don't need to carry it all. Just take the lesson, leave the rest, and if you've made it this far, stay with me just a moment longer. Let me offer you a sacred invocation. A light password. To activate your inner cleansing, place your hand on your heart, take a deep breath, and say this out loud like someone reigniting their own fire. I close what needs to close. I release what doesn't belong to me. I walk forward protected by light. This is not a spell. This is a contract between you and your soul. When you speak it, let your body feel it. Your shoulders may soften, your breath may expand. That's the moment you give yourself the key. And in the coming days, that key will open doors your mind never dared to imagine. But I must also tell you, there are two energies still hovering near you. Envy and slander. They want your light to dim. They're not strangers, they're familiar faces. The ones who once reached for your hand, but recoiled when they saw the brightness in your eyes. They still smile, but deep down, they wish you'd shrink, because your spiritual growth makes their stagnancy unbearable, and your body has known this for a long time. That tightness in your belly, the sudden fatigue after a casual encounter, that subtle shiver when walking into a space that used to feel safe. You told yourself you were too sensitive. You scolded yourself, stop overthinking. But no, your soul has never been wrong. Your intuition has never betrayed you. Protecting your energy from those who drain it doesn't make you the villain. Setting boundaries is not cruelty. It's a sacred right. It's your declaration. I no longer carry what isn't mine. And remember this, true justice does not require you to hunt for culprits. It is already unfolding. Your job is to keep your flame alive, and that flame is about to rise higher than ever before. Lately, you may feel the urge to clean out closets, delete old messages, rewrite your journal, or map out a fresh vision. That's no accident. That's divine preparation. You'll find yourself craving simplicity, honesty, presence. No more small talk just to be polite. You want real connection now. And that is your sign. A new cycle is near. A cycle where you don't repeat, you rebirth. Where you no longer avoid, you face. Where you no longer chase, you walk side by side with someone who sees the light in you. and honors it. And when that door opens, step through, don't hesitate, because this time, Sagittarius, you hold the key. Some relationships you once called family are now revealing their true nature. Not to wound you, but to return your eyes to the truth. What once was buried under layers of misunderstanding and obligation will be rearranged. No more confusion, no more assumptions. Everything will become clear: who stays, who silently walks away. And somewhere along this path, you may uncover a hard truth about someone you once trusted with your whole heart, an ally, or worse, someone who once held authority, now revealing a face you never imagined. But don't be afraid, it won't strike like a storm. It will unfold like morning mist, gently lifting as the sun kisses the mountain peaks. At first it may stun you, your eyes still adjusting to the light, but once you see clearly, you'll never choose the dark again, because the light will not only show you who they are, it will finally show you who you are. Let me tell you this, like someone who's lived through many winters, who has said goodbye to people they loved both literally and metaphorically. Saying goodbye is never the end. It is a karmic correction. It is how the universe releases you from invisible loops you've been tangled in far longer than you realized. You are not failing. You are healing. You are not empty. You are making space. And the moment you do, a door of destiny opens as you step through. You will breathe differently, speak differently, live differently. The fire of creation within you will return, like a torch finally finding wind again. And for Sagittarius, whose soul map tells us that family is not just blood, but the souls who resonate with your spirit, this moment is sacred. You'll become more selective, not because you're less loving, but because you've learned the painful price of misplaced trust. You still care, you still give, but you no longer do so by draining your own life force. And there's one more thing you need to know. Somewhere near where you live, maybe a street you often walk, a familiar cafe, a quiet corner, has become the gathering spot for words spoken about you, not in kindness, not because you did something wrong, but because your light makes the lazy feel ashamed. You don't need to run, but you also don't need to place your purity in a space that does not honor it. Don't let yourself be tarnished by the presence of those who cannot love well. Instead, take it as a signal that you no longer belong in spaces where you must shrink to simply exist. You have the right to choose another seat, another cafe, another way of seeing. These small daily choices are how you declare your worth without ever saying a word. And then, when the tower has done its sacred work, when truth is laid bare and cannot be unseen, you will be given a choice: walk away in quiet grace or stay and speak your clarity. Both are valid as long as they come from love for yourself. You owe no one an explanation. Those meant to understand will, those unwilling to understand never will. And that's okay, because your life does not depend on anyone's approval. It only depends on your own inner coherence. And when all of this settles, the signs will begin to appear. A deep night's sleep after too many restless ones. A small encounter, but enough to awaken a trust you thought you'd lost. A kind invitation, not meant to bind you, but to offer you a chance to say yes to yourself. The future won't arrive like fireworks. It will tiptoe in through a window just cracked open. But you must allow yourself to receive. You've held space for so long. You've held the household's atmosphere together with just your smile. But now it's your turn. Your turn to be listened to be held with sincerity, to be immersed in a passion, without fearing it will break. And before I guide you deeper into this reading, if something in this message has stirred your soul, please write in the comments below, "I choose my peace and freedom." By doing that, you're not just speaking to me, you're speaking to yourself. You're declaring to the universe, I'm ready to live truthfully, I'm ready to live anew. And stay with me, because in the next part, we'll return to the emotional tide of the Six of Cups, where an important truth awaits your acknowledgement, not to punish you, but to set you free, truly, completely, and gently. Someone from the past is coming back, not just to apologize, but to face themselves in front of a mirror long fogged over by small choices that carried heavy consequences. Their voice may tremble, not because of you, but because they're slowly realizing the cost of all the times they turned away. And when they bring up the beautiful days, when they paint that golden sunset that once meant everything, don't mistake it for love. It's just someone trying to cling to the last light of day, because they're not yet ready to step into the darkness they created. You are under no obligation to preserve a sweet memory just because it once tasted sweet. You have the right to cherish it without repeating it. You can say yes to a respectful closure. You can say no to any last-minute promises that try to awaken old wounds. If you feel the need to say goodbye, say it with a heart that is awake. And if you choose silence, let it be the silence of self-love, not a punishment, but a prayer of protection. In all cases, justice stands with you not to collect debts, but to establish boundaries. Your intention is freedom, not guilt, not chains. And as for the manipulative woman, the one who whispered into shadows, who planted poison near the well you once drank from, her energy will retreat. The moment you hold your ground, masks will fall under the weight of their own lies. Don't be surprised if those who once cheered for you go quiet. Don't be surprised if they withdraw, not loudly but clear enough to chill your bones. Truth doesn't need to shout. It only needs to stand firm, and the strongest defense right now is not a rebuttal, not a counterattack, but a calm gaze, the peace of someone who has nothing left to hide. If there's a part of you that wants to respond, to speak up, to make things clear, pause, breathe, and return to the mission of your soul, your voice will travel farther. When you choose the right time and the right tone, not when you're pushed into reaction. I look again at the cards, and they do not scream, they whisper. They say, this ending doesn't come from cruelty, it comes from love. The kind of love you finally dared to give to yourself. The kind of love that says yes to clarity and no to self-harm. The kind of love that knows no one can tend to a true home if they're still living in resentment and ghosts. Love shines light exactly where you need it. In your breath, your meals, your first glance in the mirror each morning. And when the dust of the tower finally settles, when justice has returned everything to its rightful place, and when the Six of Cups allows you to remember, not with chains, but with gratitude, you'll wake up different, lighter, breathing deeper, seeing the world clearer, as if a long layer of sorrow dust has finally been washed away. But something still waits in the wings, something precious, moving quietly toward you, slowly, gently, and worth it. A small gesture, a whisper with weight, a name, spoken at the exact moment. You finally find your voice and speak without fear. I must tell you this too, the next opportunity will not arrive with fireworks. It will come like a single dewdrop resting quietly on a door that just closed. And if you're not fully awake, you might mistake it for illusion. But if you see with your true eyes, you will know this is the reward for your release. It is the doorway of destiny, and it does not open for those still clinging to the past. The truth is, there are things you can no longer allow, and I say this with my whole heart, like a teacher gently placing their hand on the back of a creature who has just returned from a long, long journey. You have been generous to the point of pain. You've forgiven beyond what could be healed. You've stayed silent to protect others, while your own heart bled quietly inside. You've bowed your head countless times to avoid explosions, even as your soul whispered through gritted teeth, enough, that cycle is over. What you're going through is not just an energetic cleanse, it is a sacred call to return to the fire within you, that sacred fire Sagittarius was born to carry. Light, truth, and wild freedom that asks no one's permission. Yes, sometimes that fire wears the dress of water, of erratic emotions, of dreams dissolving in the moon's mirror. You thought you were alone, but you were being purified. This emptiness was necessary so the new could enter, without bumping into old shadows. Have you ever wondered why you must let go in order to win? Why life asks you to surrender what you've guarded with your whole soul? Be still, my love, because this time you are not losing, you are making space. Your hands, like empty cups, must first be hollow so the light can pour in, and then a message rises like moonlight on the chariot, the sacred symbol of Sagittarius. You are being moved, not by others, but by a reborn belief deep within. You're not looking back anymore, not out of hatred, but because you've finally closed the door with gratitude. True love is drawing near, not to test you, but to stay, yet that love cannot enter if your heart is still tethered to a memory that no longer breathes. And the love I speak of is not just romantic, it's the love of self, the reconciliation with your own heart, the reunion with the purpose you were born for, to carry the flame, to be the light, to turn a house into sacred ground, a place where you don't have to strive, only to be. And all of it begins with one thing: you choose truth, you choose peace, You choose yourself. You are approaching a kind of love that no longer makes you bow your head, that no longer forces you to shrink, but instead lifts you, like a sacred spring soaking gently through every tired cell, every cracked belief, every layer that once ached from drought. This love does not leave you thirsty. It doesn't ask you to sacrifice your light to keep it. But before you can enter that river, Sagittarius, there will be a door, a final threshold, a quiet night where you must choose from the most mature version of yourself, not from fear, not from guilt, not from wounded pity, but from a gaze that says softly yet firmly, I choose me. That choice might come unexpectedly. It might arrive as a seemingly harmless offer, a return of someone familiar, this time with a convincing new script, or maybe an old crisis will resurface, shaking your foundation once again. When that moment comes, pause, place your hand on your heart, and choose again. From the clarity now awakening within you. Your guides, they never left, they've been patient. They've been silent, like waves that still reach for the same old shore. They whisper, this closure isn't random. It is the inevitable result of all you've learned, all you've endured, all the strength you've grown into. Don't believe you are losing, you are birthing a new life. There was someone on your old path, not to love you, but to mirror everything you no longer are. They didn't teach you through wisdom, but through their shadow. They showed you which boundaries must never be crossed, which promises must never be trusted again, and which dark corridors, if entered again, would cost you your soul. That figure may reappear. They may try to reconnect, to plead, or simply to exhale one last time before the story ends. But you no longer live in that chapter. You've left it, through awakened choice. You've come home to the sacred version of you that always waited. You've called back your scattered energy from conversations that led nowhere and vindicated your own spirit, not with explanations, but in the only court that matters, your conscience. And during these days, yes, these days, the universe is dropping signs like breadcrumbs along your path home. You'll overhear the exact sentence you needed to hear, in a conversation that had nothing to do with you. You'll wake in the middle of the night, with a dream more vivid than any analysis. You'll see those who once broke your heart pass by like a cold breeze. Your body too is transforming, and your spirit, it's showing itself. In every heartbeat, every shift in taste, in sleep, in the way your eyes now hold the light. You're not broken, you're not weak, you're shedding a skin like a sprout after winter, breaking through old earth, trembling yet breathtakingly brave. And when the final frost melts, you'll know, this rebirth was always meant for you, and you were always meant for more. And then, when everything settles, a stillness like a healing stream will arrive. In that silence, where no one rushes you, where no one demands an explanation, a new vision will blossom from within you. Maybe in the kitchen, maybe with a cup of tea in your hand, maybe in the mirror when you look up and finally recognize yourself again. No more masks, no more doubt. That's the moment you understand everything that happened was simply the journey bringing you back to your soul's rightful place. From there, a new path begins. No more hiding, no more begging to be loved, no more apologizing for your light. You walk forward, serene, grounded, resilient without forcing it. Divine justice is no longer a concept. It is now the presence in every breath. What was once sent to break you is returning to the sender. What once delayed you is finding its way back to you, carrying sacred protection and grace. Your chariot of destiny is moving, and your name is engraved at its front. No one can stop it. It is not steered by human hands, but by the light of your soul. Yes, an old figure is still thinking of you. Someone who once betrayed you. Someone who let others decide for them. They are now living in true emptiness. No peace, no soulful vitality, no real love. They miss you, but not out of romance, out of despair. They are approaching the final chapter of their story, and they are hoping that you'll appear just once more, even if only for a fleeting moment. If that happens, remember, you are not there to save. You are there to release, to be able to say, with kindness and self-respect, I have let you go. And if this is drawing near, if you feel the trembling within, know this, it is not a hook pulling you back into the past. It is a gateway into your next chapter. A gateway beyond which lies the love you truly deserve. A love that doesn't make you thirsty, that doesn't hold you back, that doesn't shrink your spirit, but instead expands you, guides you, and heals you. This is a closing ritual, a sacred stamp, not just on the earth, but within the spiritual space of your being. It will be brief, but profound. It will be intense, but filled with compassion, and I want to hold you in this moment, not with arms, but with words, to remind you, compassion is never a crime. You can feel for someone without carrying their burden. You can witness someone's pain without letting it invade your peace. This sorrow is not yours, and your light is no longer a shelter for those who never knew how to honor it. The one who once walked away into the shadows is now reaching toward the faint glow they abandoned. That light used to be you, but you are no longer the savior. You are no longer the resting place. You are the mirror reflecting what they lost, and because of that, you have become the very gateway they must walk through if they wish to free themselves. When the old door closes, a new one will open, wider, brighter, cleaner. A new current is arriving. You'll feel it in the way you tidy up, in the way sunlight lands in the room, in the way you rearrange things, as if preparing for something sacred, not just a relationship, but a whole new life, a life with clarity. Clear people, clear moments, clear words, no more guessing games, no more shrinking your truth, just to avoid hurting someone else. Opportunities will rise in your career, in your creativity, in ideas you never imagined belonged to you. But in order to enter that new world, you must let go, not just of material things, but of the invisible attachments, the apology that never came, the need to be seen by someone who's no longer here, the innocent hopes that they'll finally understand, the illusion that maybe they'll change. No, they won't. And you don't need them to. True healing doesn't require an apology. It comes from the presence of soul guides, from the warmth of your own hand placed over your heart, from the tenderness you no longer reserve for others. Because now, it finally belongs to you. Right now on my table, the Justice card has revealed itself like a sharp, elegant fan, precise, piercing, undeniable. No one can take away what's coming to you. Not bitter eyes, not whispers behind your back, not someone's clever plans. Any trap they set has turned back on them. You, like the shoreline after the storm, are now clear, expansive, and free. What was lost will return. What was delayed will speed up. But be mindful, your thoughts in this moment are the steering wheel. If you let the past take the helm, your boat will drift backward. If you let fear hold the wheel, you'll veer away from the place you're closest to reaching. Hold your energy with simple things, a morning tea, a journal you love, a photo frame that brings you peace. Repeat the little rituals only you understand, because those are the landmarks of a massive new cycle, unfolding now. And please listen closely. Just a few days from now, the universe will send a sign, so clear you won't be able to deny it. When it comes, all the things that confuse you today will suddenly make sense, as if you've reached a mountaintop, and the full landscape comes into view. And from there, you won't be afraid anymore. You'll witness as that other soul walks through their own final gate, whether into another realm or into a slow, inevitable ending. You, Sagittarius, will have already stepped into an entirely different world. Not a death, but a life, vivid, grounded, reborn, and your intuition will no longer feel strange or hard to trust. It will be your superpower. Let me open a ritual with you now. Close your eyes if you can and repeat these words. I am a safe home for myself. I love and release what no longer honors me. I open the living waters to receive love that is pure, abundant, and true. Say them again if you need to, as if speaking to the trembling child within. Mommy's here, I'm not going anywhere. These words aren't magic spells, they are vows to yourself, to the part of you that has endured too much, to the part of you that now deserves to live in the light. The very light you kept burning for everyone else. The chariot of destiny rolls on. I see you, calm, clear, setting boundaries without wounding, saying no without guilt, saying yes without permission. You reply to the messages you once avoided. You move sleep to the top of your priority. You tend to your sacred home, not because someone asked you to, but because you know your home is holy. You've learned to love without exhausting yourself, to work without depleting your soul, to speak without trading away your peace. And you, embodying the Queen of Cups, no longer pour your sacred waters into vessels that do not honor them. Now you give from fullness. You don't raise your voice to be heard. A glance, a nod, a word spoken at the right moment. That's enough to protect the peace you've built with your own hands. There will be those who don't understand this, especially the ones who took too much from you without gratitude. There will be those who try to disturb your calm, because the emptiness inside them cannot stand the wholeness within you. But remember, Sagittarius, your protection is not made of stone walls, it's a layer of light. Intelligent, flexible, compassionate, you enter and exit by your own will, because now there is an adult present in the house of your soul, one who knows how to hold the trembling child within and whisper, "We will not trade our light for fleeting warmth ever again." And this time, you keep your word, the one from your past, the one who hurt you so deeply. You thought you'd never open your heart again, is now facing themselves. There's nowhere left to run. No one else to blame. They're not just haunted by memories of you. They're standing before a mirror, reflecting every choice once made carelessly, every cold word, every hurtful act they thought had long been forgot, and now all of it has returned, like waves crashing against rock, echoing through their heart, with the sound of something breaking. That's why you feel their energy pulsing toward you. The regret, the longing, the desperate hope for forgiveness. They may try to remind you of all the beautiful moments, like someone clinging to the last light of a dying sunset. But Sagittarius, you are not obligated to keep that memory alive. You can cherish what was once beautiful without returning to the labyrinth of your wounds. You have every right to say yes to a gentle ending, and just as much right to say no to last-minute promises, especially when they come wrapped in the ribbon of old memories, but carry the shape of a trap. If you feel you need a goodbye, let it come from a heart that is awake, no longer dreaming. And if you choose silence, let it be a silence that honors your truth, not a cold retreat, because silence is not an absence. It is a declaration. It is the soft light you now offer yourself, and the beautiful truth is, whichever way you choose, the scales of justice tilt in your favor, not because you won, but because you chose freedom. Overburden those who poison the waters. The woman who carried rage from the past. Their power dissolves when you hold your boundaries. In the coming weeks, the masks will fall under their own weight. You don't need to expose anything. Truth doesn't shout. It simply stands still and shines. And you, Sagittarius, are the torchbearer. Don't be surprised if the ones who once buzzed around you like bees fall silent. That silence is not a loss, it's proof. You've risen to a higher frequency where false connections naturally fall away. Your strongest defense now is not a weapon, but your calm, your integrity, your unshakable devotion to self-love. And if at any moment you feel the urge to react to a painful comment, to a subtle wound, pause, breathe, and remember, you don't have to defend yourself with anger anymore. Your voice is most powerful when you choose the timing, not when you're provoked. When I look at the cards, I don't see revenge, I see closure. One that rises gently from a place of love. True love knows when to say yes and when to say no. Love understands that tending to your inner sanctuary is the only way to love others without losing yourself. And when justice returns everything to its rightful place, when the tower brings down the rotten walls, and when the Six of Cups lets you look back without regret, a new light begins to walk beside you. You'll wake up and realize your breath is deeper, your shoulders lighter, the world around you clearer. That is the sign the gate has opened. But take care, some truths need to be revealed slowly. And you deserve that gentleness. There is a clear opportunity approaching, a deal about to be sealed, a legal decision coming to a close, and right after that, a gift. A new door, a new name, a new mission. You'll be asked to tell the difference between divine signs and old illusions disguised as something new. Don't rush, carry that restlessness into your dreams tonight. Let the moon, your sacred guide, speak. And when you wake, your body will know. If you shrink, it's a no. If you open, it's a yes. The body doesn't lie. Trust its ancient wisdom. And remember, you don't need to squeeze your soul into shoes that once made you bleed. You don't have to cram your free spirit into a mold that was never built for you. Water will always find its way, and if someone wants to swim with you, they need to know how to flow with your current, not cling to you just to stay afloat. You are no longer the lifeguard for those who refuse to swim. You are the keeper of the light, but that light now has sacred boundaries. You are a harbor, but one with clear docking rules. Not everyone is allowed to anchor without offering respect. And when you live with that kind of clarity, life starts responding to you. New doors open, a random conversation leads to a job that honors your emotional gifts. A small step takes you to a place where your heart whispers, "Stay here." A name keeps appearing in your thoughts, and then you meet them. No chaos, no drama. Everything flows like water, softly like breath. You may feel a warmth rising in your chest. Your hands might want to tidy up, as if preparing to welcome a guest. Yes, real love is on the way, not to break you, but to grow with you. And if someone asks how you know it's real, you can simply say, because I no longer feel the need to lose myself just to keep someone. Sagittarius, you've come so far, you've forgiven, even when no one apologized. You've stayed silent, even while your heart was bleeding. And now, you don't have to carry it anymore. You don't have to strain to be seen. You only need to return to yourself, the you who is gentle enough, strong enough, and radiant enough to light the path for yourself and for others. And if these words reach you, like a cool breeze on your skin, it's because your soul has heard the call. Now I invite you to seal this energy. Leave a line in the comments, your new declaration. I choose my peace, I release with love, and I open to what truly nourishes me. Write it when it arrives in you, like someone lighting a candle and letting that flame ripple outward. And in the meantime, just keep walking like the sea that never stops moving, and like the moon, your most faithful guide, who always knows how to bring you home.